Let's open up a LEGO Marvel Minifigure Series 2 Mystery Pack. We're going to get Werewolf by Night. Werewolf by Night, or Jack Russell, received his lycanthropic powers from an ancestor who was bitten by a werewolf while trying to defeat Lord Dracula. Werewolf by Night has been a member of Midnight Suns and the West Coast Avenger, and of course started the Legion of Monsters with Man-Thing, Ghost Rider, Morbius, Manphibian, the Living Mummy, and recently Franken-Castle, the Resurrected Punisher. There he is up on the shelf. Who do you think we're going to get next? LEGO Marvel Minifigure Series 2. Let's see who we're going to get. None other than Mr. Knight himself. Now, Mr. Knight in the MCU and Mr. Knight in the comics are actually quite different. In the MCU, he is the alter ego of Stephen Grant, and we often see him taking on the bad guys. But in the comics, he is one of the alter egos of Mark Spector, and we very rarely see him fighting. He's more of an intellectual and a detective type. We also have Gus, the cute little fish. Let's put him together. Look how great they are. Up on the shelf they go, Mr. Knight and his loyal fish companion, Gus. Who do you think we're going to unbox next? It's time to open another LEGO Marvel minifigure. Who do we have? None other than Kate Bishop. I love getting to meet the MCU version of Kate Bishop in the Hawkeye show, and I'm really hoping we get to see more of her in a Young Avengers or a West Coast Avengers series or movie. She actually ran the West Coast Avengers for a little while. Although the bow is obviously Kate's favorite weapon of choice, she is also proficient in swords, knives, stabs, and even her two fists because she is a fierce martial artist, boxer, and gymnast. All in all, she is a very properly trained athlete and also plays the cello. Look at how cute this little Lucky the dog is in Pizza Box. I love that. Let's put them up on the shelf and see how they look with everyone else. There they are. Who do you think we're going to unbox next in these LEGO Marvel minifigures? Let's open another LEGO Marvel minifigure. Who do we have this time? None other than Hawkeye. Hawkeye was actually originally introduced in an Iron Man comic as a villain. Hawkeye's bow has a drawback strength of 250 pounds. That is about 3 times more than an average compound bow, which is about 75 pounds, proving that Hawkeye is extremely strong. He's also a natural-born leader, leading both the Thunderbolts and the West Coast Avengers at different times. Hawkeye, of course, is hard of hearing in the comics and actually helped a real-life kid learn and appreciate wearing his hearing aid. There's Hawkeye right there. Let's put him up on the shelf. I think he looks great next to Kate Bishop. I really hope we get to see more of Hawkeye in the MCU. Who do you think will open next? Who's been messing up everything? It was Agatha all along. Agatha Harkness is our next LEGO Marvel minifigure. Agatha all along, by the way, is a total bop, and I absolutely love it. Agatha Harkness knows a thing or two about the multiverse and multiple timelines. She is able to move objects and even complete cities between different multiverses. I really hope we get to see that in the MCU. She was a nanny at one point for the Fantastic Four, and I wonder if that's going to play into the upcoming Fantastic Four film. In the comics, Agatha actually helps train the Scarlet Witch and help her become more powerful, even giving her the power to resurrect Wonder Man. I'm excited to see her return in Agatha House of Harkness. Who do you think we got next? It's time for another LEGO Marvel minifigure. Who do we have? None other than Goliath, also known as Dr. William or Bill Foster. Dr. Foster is a former colleague of Hank Pym, the original Ant-Man, until Hank left the military. Dr. Foster continued working with the military, becoming Goliath. He can grow up to heights of 25 feet, but Ant-Man has crested over 100. I wonder what's the deal with that. I love seeing him in the What If series. Here he is up on the shelf with that tiny little Ant-Man right in his hand. And who do you think we're going to get next? Hello, true believers. It's time to unbox another LEGO Marvel minifigure. Who do we have this time? None other than the Beast, or Dr. Henry Hank McCoy from Marvel's X-Men. This version of him is of course based on his appearance in the animated series and X-Men 97, which was voiced by the amazing American-Canadian voiceover artist George Buza. Beast's unique mutation gives him super strength, agility, and heightened senses, not to mention a superior intellect, love of learning, and a very witty sense of humor. Whether or not the humor comes from his mutation is yet to be seen. Beast is an extremely loyal friend and a mentor within the X-Mansion. There he is all put together with his unique blue fur, a little coffee cup, and a microscope. And up on the shelf he goes. Who's next? Here we are with another LEGO Marvel minifigure. Who do we have this time, bub? None other than Wolverine from the X-Men, who, believe it or not, his name was almost the Badger. I don't know about you, but I don't think that has quite the same ring as the Wolverine.
Being a kid of the 90s, I grew up watching the X-Men animated series and absolutely loving the character Wolverine. With his fierce adamantium claws and his no-nonsense gruff attitude, absolutely loved him. Having lived for almost 200 years, the Wolverine is very fluent in several languages, including English, Spanish, Russian, and of course, Japanese. He spent some time in Japan learning the way of the samurai. Here he is, up on the shelf. Who do you think we're gonna have next time, bub?
Welcome back, LEGO and Marvel fans, for another unboxing. Who do we have this time? None other than the Omega level mutant Storm, or Aurora Monroe. Storm has her formidable weather manipulation powers as well as natural leadership skills. Storm has led the X-Men and the Morlocks at different times and is also a member of the Avengers and the Fantastic Four as well. She even earned the name of Goddess of Thunder when she was given an Asgardian weapon known as Storm Chaser. I love this look right here with her classic white cape that LEGO just made for this figure. Did you know that her mohawk originally started as a joke by one of the illustrators, but the editors loved it so much they kept it? There she is with her little lightning powers, and up on the shelf next to her X-Men brethren. Who do we get next? Excelsior, and welcome back, true believers. It's time for another LEGO Marvel minifigure. Here we have Maya Lopez, also known as Ekko. Ekko is a deaf indigenous superhero first introduced as a villain in Daredevil number 9. Ekko has the same powers as Taskmaster, which is the ability of photographic reflexes, or the ability to imitate a person's physical movements exactly. This makes her an extremely proficient hand-to-hand combatant and very, very dangerous. Look at how beautiful that figure is, and up on the shelf she goes next to Hawkeye. I hope we see more of Ekko in the MCU. What time is it? It's time for another LEGO Marvel minifigure, and this time we have She-Hulk, also known as Jennifer Walters, attorney at law. Not gonna lie, I loved the She-Hulk Disney Plus show, and I really hope we get to see more of her in the MCU. She-Hulk was actually created in order to secure the rights to the character before Universal could make a spin-off of their popular TV show of The Hulk. She-Hulk has always been a team player, being on teams like the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, and A-Force. There she is on the shelf. Who are we gonna get next? It's time for our very last LEGO from the LEGO Marvel minifigure Series 2 line. Who do we have? None other than Moon Knight, also known as Marvel's Batman. Moon Knight was originally introduced in the Werewolf by Night comics, where he was opponent for said werewolf. His suit was originally made of woven silver fabric, which was a perfect foil for that werewolf. Moon Knight's story eventually changed and evolved, where he became the avatar of the Egyptian god of the moon, Khonshu. I really like the Moon Knight series. I hope we get to see more of Mark Spector and all of his other alter egos. Look at the really cool accessories that came with this figure. Here he is up on the shelf. Thanks for following along. And here's the entire LEGO Marvel minifigure Series 2 all up on the shelf in their own little place. This was a lot of fun opening. I hope you enjoyed it. Which one of these figures was your favorite? See you next time.
Bye.